Oh,
Hey,
wow.
what do you do?
Did you guys hear that?
Consenting to be recorded.
Yeah, did you hear that? That's new.
That's
new.
I do not consent.
No.
Recording in progress.
That's funny.
Well, no, you do not have my consent. Weird, strange voice that came through all of our computers.
That was something.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to another episode of the BOTA Show. Today, or tonight, with me, I have the usual suspects here. I have Drew. I have James in the car eating a sausage.
No, I finished my sausage.
Sorry.
No more car sausage for James.
Let's get to Chris, and then we'll talk about the sausage. And Chris. Hi, Chris.
Be Chris. I didn't
All right.
have any sausage.
All right, so opening segment. James, where did you get the sausage from? What kind of sausage was it? I need the details.
All right, so it was a vice versa I got from Wegmans, and I cooked it, and I reheated it before I left for work so I could have something easy to eat on the way home. Turns out I just look like a psychopath.
So you went full chaotic evil and just ate an entire, basically lukewarm sausage with your hand driving home?
Yeah. I also ate some chicken, too, if that makes you feel better. But it doesn't make me feel better.
The chicken's iffy. What kind of chicken are we talking about?
It was grilled chicken.
Okay. Was it just a chicken breast that you ate with your hand?
No, I'm not a simp. It was a thigh.
Okay. So you ate a grilled chicken thigh with your bare hands while you were driving home on 95?
Yeah.
Nice.
Any seasonings on this grilled chicken? Was it plain chicken? We need the details.
There was a Tuscan blend I put on there. Using
Okay.
that up, it was average.
Okay. All right. Well.
Tuscan blend.
All right. Well, what's your one bite score for your meal there?
Sausage.
Both. I need a
8.4.
combination though. It can't be individual. It's got to be
That's a lot of
combination.
bugs. All right.
Ooh.
So if I'm gonna put the sausage on 8.4, I'm gonna put the
Okay.
chicken at like a 1.5. Give it like I don't know 7.3.
So the sausage was good enough to bring the chicken all the way up to that score.
Yeah,
All right.
it was
fair
really
enough.
good sausage. I'm not gonna lie to you.
All right. Good enough. We have a wonderful show for you guys. We're gonna start how we always start. We're gonna go right into it. The BOTA news. News, yay. All right, well, let's start. NFL, guys.
News.
Obviously, the big thing going on right now, it's going to be Julio Jones. And we will get to this later on in the show. But he's just been, not he himself, but the Falcons have been offered a first-round pick from an unnamed team. What do you guys
team
think?
actually unnamed?
Yes, it is. We don't know who the team is. Because technically
The
speaking,
team does not have a name, therefore it is Washington.
Washington football team.
No. Can we talk about something else real quick? How shitty of it was Shannon Sharp to fucking not tell his own friend, someone he called nephew on air, that he was calling him to figure out where he was going if he was actually getting traded.
Well, but here's my thing though, is that there's a lot of speculation that was staged. Because, well, here's the thing, because he needs to know that if it wasn't staged, that Fox News is going to get in a lot of trouble for that.
Maybe.
Why? That's journalism
Okay.
101.
Not
That's gotcha
necessarily.
journalism, Zach.
That's, I mean, I don't know. It's borderline tampering almost.
Not during we're past tampering season. There's no tampering season right now.
Well, right, but the
It's not
trades
really-
haven't been opened yet. He can't be traded until officially he can't be traded until I think it's like 2 or 3 weeks from now.
Yeah, but it is tampering time.
I mean, yes and
So,
no. I don't
like,
know.
do you-
I don't
you
know the
get
whole
what I
story,
mean?
unfortunately, but I'm just saying that it was.
It's I
don't know how
agree.
this is-
It's
I don't know how to put this really, but you can't blindside an athlete like that because saying something in confidence to a person and then telling another person about it is different than you being live on air, not telling that person that they're live. I mean, that's just infringement on their privacy, and not to mention the business aspect of that too. So there's just a lot of interesting things that might happen if it wasn't staged. But
So
I don't know. It
it's
seems staged to
interesting.
me.
It's interesting you say blindside because Michael Orr. That's all I got.
Thanks. Thank you for that, James.
I'm
So
glad I can help
I
out.
All right.
I think there's a couple factors that go into this. One, if you're getting a call from Shannon Sharp, you're most likely assuming that you're going to be live anyways, or that
don't
Why?
you
necessarily
say
know
you're
about
going to be
that.
on the record. You know what I mean? So that's where I think it's staged. At the same time, if you're Julio at this point, why do you care? It's clearly come out that he's asked for a trade before that team.
Well,
they
but
were
it's
taking
not even
offers for
him though. It's not even him. They have to clear that cap space because they don't have enough money to sign their rookies. They're what, like it's like 19.5 in the hole. So
But
the fact
if you're
that-
Julio, go ahead. I'm sorry.
no, sorry. I was just gonna say the fact that trading Julio doesn't even solve their problem because they'd still have to rework more money. But obviously, Julio is the big name piece that they're going to have to move, and they're going to get a guy like Kyle Pitts, and they're fine with that. And Julio's fine with that. He wants to go somewhere else anyways. It was a mutual thing. It's going to work out in the end, I think, for everyone involved. I just think that the Falcons want to get as much as possible for, Julio Jones. I mean, they'd be stupid not to. But I'm surprised that a team is going to give up a first-round pick for him.
Oh,
Really? You're surprised?
It's not for the reason you think, but we'll get to that later.
Okay.
Yeah. It's not later yet.
is it later now? It is
No.
technically later.
Shut up.
Very,
Okay.
very technically.
Oh my god. Anyways, we have any more NFL news, guys? Actually, here's like a close to home NFL news. I was looking on Facebook, Drew. Sean Reed met Cam Newton at the
I know. I
airport. Did you
just
see
saw that.
That was funny. Shout
Wait.
out. But that was, funny, small world.
Oh,
Are
don't
you kidding
forget,
me?
Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers with Phil Mickelson and
That's a big one. Yep.
Deschambault.
The
Guys.
match part 2.
Guys,
It'd be interesting. All
James.
the memes from Brady.
you're kidding me, right?
What?
You've said NFL news. You said close to home, and you're not going to mention Adam Vinatieri officially retiring?
Of course we're gonna mention that.
I mean,
Close to
Number
home meaning the town I grew up in.
I don't
And I
know
can
where you
explain.
grew up, Zach.
Lynn.
Lynn, City of Sin.
It's
If
not
you
a
go
town.
in,
It's
Zach's
actually a city.
your mom.
It's a city. Yes, Burlington was a town and now is a city.
Not
so-
a city yet.
It's technically still a
But
city.
it's
They have
about to
elect
be.
the mayor. Anyways, moving forward, yes, James, you're right. Adam Vinatieri did retire after
Oh, dude, thanks for bringing that up.
24 seasons. Yeah. There's no arguing. He's the best kicker of all time, most clutch kicker of all time. I mean, what more can you say about the guy?
My favorite thing is how he comes out and says that Belichick used to call him only 4.
Hey,
or,
four. Hey, fucker.
Or
Or
was
hey,
it
whatever.
hey fucker?
I don't know. Probably. It was.
All
it
I
was
saw
blurred
was
out.
it said expletive.
Expletive. Yeah.
Expletive. How dare you?
Yeah.
It makes it sound like worse if you say expletive.
Yeah, Mookie. Two.
A curse word, an expletive. So I'm assuming that Belichick just called him, hey, slut. Get out
Hey,
there and kick me a
yeah.
field goal.
You dirty whore.
Vincenzo.
Get on out there, you slut.
Oh God. But yeah, I mean, there's not much you can really, say other than he's the GOAT. He's the GOAT kicker, the best of all time, most clutch kicker of all time. I mean, he is the NFL leading scorer, and
That's the boat, not the goat.
greatest of all time.
You said best of all time.
All right. Well, fuck you.
He ain't no Blake Bortles.
No, he is not no Blake Bortles. Nope. Starting quarterback for the Green Bay Packers next year. I know it's crazy.
You fucking banana.
I know that's tough. Any other NFL news notable besides Drew wanting to fucking?
I was gonna say, I love when we bring up shit about Aaron Rodgers right now, and Drew just looks like he wants to murder us all. And like, it's a little zest of like, why did I even fucking show up to this thing?
I do have something on.
He's got a clean
side,
shave. He's got the nice little mustache, like soul patch combo. He's like, yeah, I'm ready to do a podcast. Immediately brings up Blake Bortles. Drew wants to.
Looks like he's from the French Renaissance. Bonjour.
Had to switch it up on you.
So if you think of it into perspective, Aaron Rodgers has the best chance of being the best at golf because he has more golfing time compared to Tom Brady. So he had more hours on the golf course.
Good one.
2 + 2 = 4, basic math.
Good one.
Quick maths.
No, that's an honest take. He should beat Brady.
Yeah, but hey, let's not forget. Phil Mickelson just won a major title. All right, don't count him out. At 50.
That game, you think Mickelson is going to give 2 shits? He just became the oldest person to win a PGA major at 50 years old. Do you think he's going to give 2 shits about this? He's going to get buckled and fall out of his golf cart.
I couldn't care less about golf. Golf is so. I don't care the match or whatever. Like, you want to draw me in? Give me Sandler, give me Shooter. All right, you bring them together. I will watch that match. Gilmore, Shooter, McGavin, part 2. Let's see it. Come on.
Fiction characters.
Huh?
You want to see Adam Sandler and whoever the hell played Shooter McGavin?
Yeah, what the fuck is his name? Yeah, let's see it.
Spicy Dave.
What's his name?
364 days until the next hockey tryouts.
Anyways. Guys, have anything else for NFL? I mean, it was relatively quiet. Patriots signed some other tight end prospect, whatever.
Yeah, they cut Dan Vitale. What the fuck?
Oh, did they?
Oh, Cole McDonald got cut today. Fuck the NFL.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hate everything.
Hey, again, your starting quarterback position is solidified for this season. Other people don't have to deal with the uncertainty of that.
At least,
Zach, technically you have uncertainty at your quarterback position.
Who do you think I was talking about? I wasn't talking about you or Drew. Do you really think he's going to leave?
If they let him.
Right. They're not going to let him.
Who?
He's not going to play.
Right. That's what I'm saying. But
so then what do you mean?
I don't know. Fair enough. I'm talking about both of us then. More so me, because, again.
What fucking world do we live in where the Browns have a stable quarterback position and you guys, as the Patriots and Packers fans, are up in the fucking air?
If you call Baker stable, I don't know what
Aaron
you're
Rodgers
smoking.
and Tom Brady are
You're a
still
fucking moron. You don't think
That's an
he's
extra
stable.
tidbit that you should add there.
Yeah. Well, moving forward, I guess let's go to the NBA. We have playoffs going on right now, and looking great for the Celtics, guys. Looking real good.
We all knew this was coming.
Yeah, I mean, once Jaylen Brown got hurt and they ended up having to play the Nets, I mean, really?
Even with Jaylen Brown, I don't think they could beat the Nets.
Okay, no. So I think
They just lost everything.
more or less, it's like you lose Jaylen Brown a couple, what was it, 4 or 5 games before the season ended?
Yeah.
They realistically could have, run the table and taken the 5 seed from the Hawks.
Yeah, you're gonna have to play the Nets at some point, though.
Correct, but I mean, at least you could win a series or at least be,
This isn't it.
I'm just saying it doesn't make a difference in the end, because if you play the Nets, you're going to lose. It doesn't matter. The Nets are going to win. I mean, no one's going to beat the Nets. It's ridiculous. It's come playoff time. It's whoever has the best players. That's what basketball is all about. And I mean, it's going to be Nets. It's going to be the Lakers. I'm sorry, but it's going to be the Lakers. If they're not hurt and they actually play to their full potential, it's going to be the Lakers. So,
Yeah, I think the West is competitive, but
yeah,
Nets are definitely going to
Yeah, 100%. 100%. I mean,
fuck that. Give me a dark horse. Give me Phoenix out of nowhere.
I mean, I would love to see that. But I'm just
At least in the West, you have teams that you can say, "Hey, there's a chance that they could beat the Lakers."
Right, but like everything has to go right for them in order for that to happen. That's what I think. I mean,
necessarily. I mean, the Lakers have definitely proved that they're way more human this year than last year. So
right, and that's been contingent on injuries. I think. I mean, looking at it, it's been injuries. It's been LeBron and AD being out at separate times. Well, I know that, but I mean, just look at the Nets. Like they haven't been healthy all year, and they found a way to just continue to win games, and they stayed in that 2nd seed. The Lakers dropped.
Mm-hmm.
So again, when they're healthy, match up. That's it. I don't foresee anything else happening. I mean, if they're both healthy, they're both going to match up, but they're not going to beat the Nets.
Well, can we talk about some NBA news?
Yeah, let's hear it.
How the NBA is I mean, I've just lost all respect for the players. They are all giant pussies, at least 3/4 of them. Who was it that got thrown popcorn on him?
Russell Westbrook.
Russell Westbrook.
You're going to tell me you lost respect for Russell Westbrook after he got injured?
No, the NBA as a whole, in the sense where, one, it's a scumbag move to throw popcorn on someone while they're injured, walking out injured. Don't get me wrong. But then, like, LeBron texts, like, not cool. They should be thrown out for the rest of their lives. Like, dude, if LeBron got one kernel of popcorn thrown on him, he would have been down for 75 minutes. Like, it's bullshit that these guys, football players, get shit thrown on them all the time when they're running the locker room. I mean, we've seen, well, if hockey is a little different because we literally have
fans throw baseballs at their baseball team.
Yeah, that's true. Well, here's my thing though, is that he was injured, and walking out with an injury, you just don't do that. That's not okay. I get
agree.
it, heat in the moment, whatever, blah blah blah. But you're in Philadelphia, you're the number 1 seed, and you're throwing popcorn at some team that you're gonna absolutely wax. Like, why bother? Why are you gonna do that? Just enjoy the game. Like, you're gonna sweep the Wizards.
I agree.
You're not gonna win. So why bother?
They act like it's the end of the world and they get no respect.
The thing I have 100% issue with is the fan that spit on Trae Young. Are you fucking kidding me? How disrespectful do you have to be to spit on someone, let alone an NBA player? I mean, again, but COVID, that too. I mean, yeah, no kidding.
Yeah, ignoring the fact that we're still in a pandemic.
Right. I mean, just the principle, just the baseline principle of it is just disturbing. But adding the fact that we're still in a pandemic, like, no, don't do that. So I'm glad that whoever the fuck that was, good luck trying to get into, where were they playing again? It was MSG.
Yeah, MSG.
Yeah. never gonna go to MSG ever again. Like, you really like? Are you that stupid that you're gonna get banned for life for doing something like that because you thought it would be funny or whatever? Like, apparently, again, I don't know the motive, but I mean, it's been a string of that in the playoffs. I mean, first the popcorn, and then obviously that at MSG. I mean, and then Kyrie going on about Boston and all that kind of stuff. It just, I don't know. It's been weird.
So can we clarify the Kyrie Boston thing?
So
what is going on?
Basically, he was saying that, like, some of the fans in Boston like are subtly racist, and he's not wrong. But like, it's hard to want to sympathize with him because of how his time in Boston ended and how it just went in general. And the fact that he's going to now come back and shit talk us and try to play that card. And the thing with me is that Shannon Sharp even said himself, he's like, it has nothing to do with race. It's literally just because he didn't have a good time in Boston and the fans are pissed about that. Like, I get it. Like, there are 100 like certain things that have happened in our past in the city that I'm sure all of us will look at and going, no, like, no, you can't do that. That's not okay.
Name a city. It's the same thing.
Well, no, of course, but like, for him, he's just being general about it. And like, I don't know, I think it's just disingenuous because we know what happened while he was here and how he carried himself. And the minute he left Boston, he shit talked the city itself, like, nonstop. So I really don't sympathize.
So I mean,
with him.
he didn't have a problem when he played here.
Well, no, but that's the thing. He did, but I'm sure he just didn't want to say anything while he was there. Because you can have an issue and not say anything until you leave. That's one way to do it. I mean, or you could be James Harden and have an issue and you really play it out while you're still there. So, but anyways, any other NBA news? I mean, there's not really anything crazy going on. I know the Mavericks have a 2-0 lead on someone.
The Clippers, because they're fucking fake.
Yeah, the Clippers. Well, I mean, are we really this surprised though? Because they're good in the regular season, and then they just don't know how to play. And it wasn't Doc. Clearly, it hasn't been Doc.
I don't think the team chemistry is there.
No,
that it's with all these teams that are just cobbled together superstars thrown together into a room to say play basketball together. That one really strikes me as the one where they just don't jive. That I don't know what it is. They seem like they get along well enough, but every time, like you said, come playoff time, they just don't have that, next level as a team. Right. You kind of achieve through that chemistry and all that.
Right. And it's not like they haven't brought in talent that is one champion.
No, that's what I'm saying. I said, they're one of these teams that's just a bunch of big names all brought into the same place. And sometimes it works. Sometimes you get the great chemistry out of that. This is not one of those times.
No. I mean, again, you have a guy like Kawhi. He's your centerpiece. I mean, he won a championship with San Antonio and then obviously won a championship in Toronto. You bring a guy like him in and you expect him to gel the team together, but he's just not that kind of player.
No.
That organization
isn't. From Kawhi Leonard, he's a keep to himself, do his own thing kind of guy. He's not going to be a locker room leader. He's not going to help guys get along. He's not going. That's just not who he is. He goes out there, he plays phenomenal basketball, and goes home and does whatever the hell Kawhi wants to do.
I wonder what Kawhi Leonard does in his free time.
I think he just like pairs apples.
You want to explain that? Meaning just like he literally takes two apples and just puts them
like with a pear.
No, he puts a pear in an apple.
Oh my god.
I'm really confused. I don't understand what that means.
Pairs apples. He takes a pear, he takes an apple. He goes, oh, that's a paired apple.
Chris, that's asinine. What Drew is trying to say is that he sets up like a little bachelor show for apples and tries to make them a pair. It's called the
my idea is dumb.
The appler sounds like a murderer.
I have confusion.
Could you tell Sophie to
I
stop
don't
staring at me?
understand. All right,
No, dude, she's looking like a snack back there.
the snack that smiles back, Sophie.
Sophie.
All right, let's move on. We're gonna skip the
This
NHL.
bitch just
'cause we're
burped in my ear.
we'll go to the MLB first. Gentlemen, you know me. Take it away. I have no fucking idea what's going on in baseball. I know the Red Sox are still winning. The Yankees are back, I guess, right?
Yeah, the Red Sox have finally dropped below the Rays, which I'm pretty shocked. I don't know about Drew and Chris, but I'm pretty shocked the Rays have bounced back because their pitching looked awful. They just couldn't get anything going.
Well, they won like what, 11 in a row or something?
They're running a heater.
Yeah, but the Rays had who's their starting pitcher?
Glasnow?
Who's their ace? Yes, he was out for.
Wait, is it Glasnow or Glasnow got traded?
No,
it was
Glasnow's on
Glasnow.
Tampa.
He was out for 22 games, I think. He started on the IL.
We missed.
I don't know about that.
I don't know how long.
Either way, they're crushing right now. They got rid of oh my god, was it Willie Adames? Willie Adames ended up getting traded. And they've just been keeping the heat going since. So it's entertaining to watch. I mean, you want the East to be good. So the Rays, the Sox, and the Yankees are actually playing great baseball.
Yeah.
The fucking Blue Jays can't put it together, and the Orioles.
Well, it's kind
Although,
of
isn't
you got the AL East that's firing on all cylinders. You got the top three teams; they're really competitive. Same thing as the NL West, and then the bottom two teams are not so much. So
No.
isn't Trey Mancini first in RBIs and he's on the Orioles?
Yeah, that's fine. It's the same
just
thing
weird.
as like the Angels. Like Ohtani and Trout are setting records, and then they're still losing games 8-14.
Yeah, that's true. Fair
Trey Mancini is a great sight to see, though.
enough. Yeah,
Like sexually,
but
like
respect
you
for
like
that
seeing
man.
his buttocks.
primally, like the calves on that man.
Well,
No,
just
he
beat
plays in
cancer,
Baltimore, not Cleveland.
comes back, and he's hitting home runs, and he's doing incredible. He's
It
literally.
is. It's a great story to see. Honestly, you're right.
It is, but it's the same, like you said, like the Angels. You hear Trey Mancini.
I could not name another person on the Baltimore Orioles.
Ooh,
I actually
no.
don't think I
You
could
hear it,
either.
and then they
I don't
lose
think
the
I could
the
game.
do it.
Orioles are perennially the single worst team in baseball.
Drew,
It's tough.
gun to your head right now. Would you rather play for the Pirates or the Orioles?
Pirates.
Orioles.
Yeah, the Orioles. The
Really?
Orioles.
Why, dude? If you play for the Pirates and you do half decent, you get traded to wherever the fuck.
Why
you
the
want.
why the fuck would I want to play in
Yeah.
the Berg?
This is
Are
true.
you
but
kidding me?
General culture.
I'm gonna
I'd
get
prefer
black lung after
the
3
Orioles.
weeks.
That's fair. It's fair to both.
Rather
points.
be in Pittsburgh
that's
than
what I mean.
Baltimore.
Oh, I'd much rather be in Baltimore.
I'd rather be Baltimore.
You'd rather be in Baltimore?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm not okay.
I don't know. I think
Not gonna go there.
Yeah, let's not get into that.
I was gonna. We're not gonna get into that. But anyways, any other news in the MLB? Obviously, with the standings and everything going on. Again, I don't have anything because I'm not the MLB guy. But
I got nothing else to be
No.
honest.
there's not much. I mean, it's just regular season.
Dodgers
play.
are bouncing back.
Yep. Surprise. They're gonna get healthy eventually, right? I mean,
Yeah, I mean they're just back on. Everybody's performing. Great. Dodgers win the
cool.
World Series.
Yay!
Right off.
Woo. Yeah.
My
Ugh.
laptop froze, but I do have news.
Don't you just love sports when you can just buy a championship?
That's been
The
my
salary
argument.
cap doesn't exist. The luxury tax means nothing. The sports are dumb.
Luxury tax literally means nothing.
Let's get to a sport where you don't actually have to pay to win, and that's the NHL.
Competitive lacrosse.
Oh no.
That's pay to
Curling,
play.
you don't have to pay to win.
That's pay to play.
It's pure skill.
Well, see, here's the thing about curling. It's just pure sexual tension. That's the entire gist.
100%. I will be
You don't have
honest.
to- you're waiting
I
for the
cannot
rock to
watch
be
a
delivered to the
match of
circle.
curling without having to take multiple breaks in between to cool off.
Oh dear God! All right, let's move on to hockey,
Drives me
please.
wild.
We're in between round 1, round 2. Teams have moved on. The Bruins, the Islanders, the Avalanche, the Lightning.
Oh, the Avalanche have moved on.
Yeah, the Avalanche swept the Blues. Are you kidding me? They dismantled the Blues.
Oh,
Yeah,
I did not do a Colorado post for the Avs.
it doesn't matter. It's all right.
Go
Uh,
Bolts,
Let
baby.
me think.
Yeet.
I think that's it. We're still waiting for. Oh, I'm sorry. Winnipeg moved on. They swept Edmonton. We'll get into that too. I'll talk about that. So we're still waiting for Montreal and Toronto. That game's going on right now. I think Montreal has a lead in the third period. I'll have to double check my math on that. Carolina and Nashville, surprisingly, is still going on. And
Yeah, I didn't realize Nashville was like a super underdog coming into this.
super big underdog. Yeah, Carolina is.
Can we talk about how weird it is that Carolina's playing Nashville in the first round of the
Yeah, it's
Stanley Cup
bizarre.
Super
playoffs?
odd.
Bizarre. Yeah, it's weird.
Super odd.
That's
I
so
mean-
weird.
I mean, it's you could say the same thing with like, oh, I guess not really. That one makes sense. I guess the first round would be like Bruins and Capitals in the first round, or Bruins and Islanders, but I guess
Yeah,
that
but
one.
they're in the same like conference when things are normal.
Yeah, that's true. I'm trying to think what else. What else? Minnesota and Vegas. That's a little weird because Pacific and
Yeah, they're still in the
Central.
same, they're still in the
yeah,
West.
that's true. Yeah, you're right.
You don't have anyone else that's West.
Yeah,
and East.
that's true. It's the
That's
only matchup that's like
so
that. You're
weird.
not wrong. That is bizarre. Yeah. I'm trying to think. There's no other matchup, right? Because Tampa and Florida are both in the same division every year, all that stuff. So yeah, I mean, you did get some interesting matchups. I mean, obviously outside of that one, that's just really bizarre one. It's weird because they're like 300 miles apart and they're completely different conferences.
What's asinine that Nashville's in the West?
Yeah, it's stupid. It doesn't make any sense. Again, but hopefully they'll realign with all this stuff. But I mean, what's been the biggest shock to you, Drew? I know you follow hockey more than James does, and I don't know, Chris, if you've been keeping up with it, but I mean, for me, it's been Winnipeg. You have?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. For me, it's been Winnipeg. For me, it's Winnipeg, and honestly, the Bruins.
Those are the exact two that I was going to say.
I mean, the Oilers are perennial chokers, anyways. Whenever they make the
They get
playoffs, they
swept.
fucking,
Like at least they usually put up like a half-dicked fight.
yeah. I mean, but that's the thing, though. It's like, it's not even like Connor Hellebuck was even that good. I mean, he gave up like 3-4 goals a night. The Oilers sucked dick. I mean, there's nothing you could do if your defense is more porous than the other defense. Like, you're just not playing good hockey. It's not playoff hockey. I mean, I watched some of the games. Like,
It's not playoff hockey. It's Oilers hockey.
Yeah, because that's worked out for them in the past 30 years. I don't know. It was embarrassing to watch, honestly, because Winnipeg came back 2 games in a row and won in overtime. I mean, the game they clinched in, I believe, was triple overtime. I mean, it might have been double or triple, but there's been a lot of overtime hockey too. Let's talk about that.
Dude, that especially between the Bruins and the Caps, that half of that series was overtime.
Well, yeah, more than half.
Yeah, that was crazy, and that's what was so surprising is the games were so close, but at the end of it, it really feels like Boston really fucking shit on them.
Well, again, breaking down that series game by game, I mean, you have a really tight competition in game 1, and you have, in game 2, you have the same thing, except, the Bruins came out of the locker room after tying the game up. Obviously, they were down. Brad Marchand comes out 30-something seconds later, scores a one-timer goal for Matt Grzelcyk. That's deflating. That is deflating for a team going to another rink, having to play, away. And it was huge for them to get that win, obviously. I mean, they won in 5. So you say they lose those 2 games, they still win 4 in a row. They win in 6. But, they sent the Capitals a message in that we're not going to back down. We got bigger. We play a much better game than we did, a year ago, 2 years ago, when they continuously just got bodied by Tampa. I mean, this is a completely different team mentality from them. And the fact that they were able to body the Caps in 5 is huge, especially where they got fucked with divisions. And because, when they go to the conference finals, they're going to be playing most likely either the 1 seed that comes out of it. And it's most likely going to be Colorado or Vegas. So the fact that the Bruins have to match up with the Colorado or Vegas in the conference finals before they even make it to the Stanley Cup is crazy. I mean, the same thing for the Islanders too. I mean, if the Islanders end up making it, it's the same thing. It's crazy to me because I don't view Toronto as that kind of team that is good. Like, you're playing Montreal in the first round. They had 59 regular season points. That's not a good team. So it's going to be very interesting to see where all these teams match up, who moves on, all that kind of stuff. But yeah, I mean, I think it's huge for the Bruins that they were able to get rid of the Capitals in 5 games. And I think it just speaks to the fact that they miss Braden Holtby.
They sure do.
Yeah, I mean, they
Anderson
couldn't
at
figure it out.
times looks so lost.
Oh yeah, I mean, they started 3 different goaltenders,
Yeah.
and none of them were able to do anything, besides Craig Anderson. And just a little side note before we move on here, but I was watching game 1, and when Craig Anderson came in, he started playing really well. I was like, that's it, that's the game, because that's the narrative. You know what I mean? That's the narrative. A goaltender comes out, another one starts playing really well in the game. It's just it's over. James, what's up?
How much, and this is more of I don't know if this is like an outside perspective question, but how much of that Bruins win in that series came down to the fact that they were a younger team versus what seemingly to me is an older team in Washington? Because it seemed like any game I watched, the Bruins kept their foot on the gas and kept going. And Washington,
I would say the third game, 100%.
But that's what I'm saying, is like eventually that wears down a team, right?
I think it is more down to the chemistry created on the Bruins team. I think with obviously your first line being Bergeron and Pastrnak and Marchand, that's one of the more iconic lines of the modern era of hockey. Then you just made your second line Krejci and Taylor Hall, and I think Taylor Hall is Craig Smith. I think Taylor Hall is the absolute biggest addition this year in the NHL. Yeah. I've wanted for years for him to come to Boston. I figured it was the best fit for him, for his style of play, his, what I figured he'd want in a hockey team, to not be the guy like he's been his whole career, where everywhere he goes, they expect him to take their team to a whole nother level and be the guy on the team. No, he finally was able to play a support role on a second line with a great center and a good wing supporting, and it's just magical.
And again, you give David Krejci the weapons, it's game changing. He hasn't had this since he had Horton and Lucic. What happened when he was given the weapons? Anybody want to chime in? No? They won a Stanley Cup.
So I'm not allowed to chime in.
I literally was letting you chime in.
You didn't give him enough time, if I'm going to be honest.
I know.
Yeah, you know what?
I feel like you didn't do Chris a service. You did Chris a disservice. Right?
All right, fine.
It was like less than 2 seconds.
I'll repeat the question. Chris, what happened last time Dave Krejci got some weapons on his line?
Well, see, now he already knows the answer, so you're just that's just cheating.
I know. That's what. I have the answer. No, you just ruined the whole segment.
So we're gonna continue. So again, another James. No.
Wait, to answer James' question first, is James has a question first. Yes, your hand is raised, sir.
Unmute. James, what's your question? I'm asking you to unmute. Do it. I'll force you. I'll do it. I'm going to lower your hand now.
What is your question, good sir?
He's not unmuting, so I'm going to move on until he unmutes.
All right. So answer his original question. From what I noticed, I think only the third game heading into double OT had the biggest impact of age. And again, the Capitals do have some young talent on. It's not like everyone's an old veteran on it. And same with the Bruins. The Bruins have some veterans on it. I think this was a great series to show how. Is there a fire truck outside your house, Drew?
What?
On my screen, your room is just flashing red.
Oh man.
No. No.
Can I
All right,
I see what
anyways,
you're talking about.
go for it, Chris? Go.
I think this was a great series to notice how Krejci, even though he's a veteran, was there at almost every important moment. And it just shows how the Bruins are in playoff mode. They're leaving their bodies on the line like never before. And
I'm a fucking video.
all I got was PP is talking. God damn it.
I
But
got his little
just
dog now.
the Bruins will leave their bodies on the ice, which I didn't see with the Capitals. They wanted it more.
Well, I think again, you had injuries on the Capitals team. I just think the Bruins have a really good infusion. They have a good mix. They have some young, they have some really good young players. Obviously, David Pastrnak is going to be that key player on the top line. But I mean, Jake DeBrusk has come alive. Curtis Lazar, another acquisition that they got, has been amazing for that fourth line. It's just given them a nice, just a nice boost of energy. Same thing for the defense. The defense has gotten really young. Obviously, with Zdeno Chara being out, their age differential drops to like 25. And it just, it's just a nice infusion of youth. The defense has looked really good. And I really like also another addition, Mike Riley, who's been extremely solid for them. It's just been really great. But let's move on. James, I know you wanted to talk about relating to the Oilers, the Ethan Bear situation.
Oh fuck! Wait, hold on. Let me take off this filter because it's definitely
okay.
not appropriate.
Yeah, no, it's not appropriate at all. That's why I did it, because I saw you being a fucking fuckface.
I had a mustache.
So I'll preface this for you, and then you can go into it. So we're gonna go into sort of like a little mini rage cage kind of segment.
Oh my God, Drew, you look like the nun from Conjuring.
No, you look like the girl from The Ring.
Yeah,
that's it. The Ring. Yes.
And so basically, there was, situation goes on. The Oilers get swept. People are upset. Fine. Comments were made about Ethan Bear, and James, go ahead and explain.
I just don't fucking understand. So from I read about this morning that Ethan Bear, who is originally he's from an indigenous tribe of Canada, right? He apparently either got permission, I don't know if it was a practice jersey, I don't know if it was regular, whatever, but his last name was written in his indigenous language, right? So in what world is it fucking okay to attack this man, his race, his ethnicity, what he is proud of, because they got swept?
And not to mention, it's a team for a reason. This man is not at fault. It's not like it's, and again, I'm not justifying their comments. I'm just saying that it's not like it's a game 7 and he scored on his own goal. Like, the worst possible scenario for a player is to score on your own goal in an elimination game. I mean, there's no need for it in the first place. But what's bizarre to me is that you got swept. It's not his fault. Why are we blaming this one person? Like, why are we going after him
it's
for
pure
that?
racism. That's why, because there's something different out there, and they're like, that's what I fucking hate. That's the reason we lost. No, the reason you lost is because your team's a bag of shit, and also your fans are a bag of shit.
Clearly, I mean, that's just ridiculous. You don't go after players for that kind of thing. Like,
who was this? The Oilers?
Yeah, it was the Oilers.
Yeah, he's on the Oilers.
It's a touchy subject for me because I strongly feel that Canada fans, not every team, are harsher than most United States teams. fans. They are diehard, and when they lose like this, we can go back to Vancouver losing the Stanley Cup. They are flipping fire trucks over. There's lighting the streets on fire because they're so fucking upset.
Yeah, it's being angry at your team and going and fucking lighting shit on fire. Like that. At least that's like, I guess, a normal reaction. Like it makes sense. Like you're angry, you're gonna go destroy some stuff. Like sure, you're getting your anger up.
I mean, yeah, that's different.
I get what.
Wait, Jim. Wait.
I'm supporting you.
I disagree.
What on earth is causing you to scapegoat this man and his heritage and his people and for your team losing? Like that, those two things don't make any sense. You're pointing your anger at someone that doesn't deserve it for something that has nothing to do with why you're angry.
Well, that's my point, though, is a fire truck didn't lose a fucking game for Vancouver. They were still trying to flip the fucking thing. Canada, their fan base is just die hard. When they lose, when they get upset, they just cannot contain it. Like, and I'm not saying every fan base is like not
but
like
there's
this,
a difference.
because
There's
other
a
fan
line.
bases like this. It's
There's
just
a line. No,
they
there's
cannot
a line.
contain it.
Burns down the city every 6 years. Like,
Yeah. But again, there is a difference. There is a clear line that was drawn in the sand. You go after someone's race, it doesn't matter if you're angry or not. It's not okay. I mean,
no, that's my point. It's not okay, but we need to draw the line.
But the line is drawn.
I'm not surprised that it happened.
I mean, I kind of am, honestly, because I feel as though, I mean, again, this obviously is politics. We're not going to get into this, but I feel I at least see Canada as being better to its Indigenous people than we are. Not that it's any better, but I mean, are we really that good? No. But we'll move on. So I just, there's no place in hockey for it. There's no place in sports for it. You don't do that kind of thing, whether you win, lose, anything. You want to attack the guy's skill on the ice, go for it. You're entitled to your opinion. That's not an opinion. It's just pure hatred. So
he was a third. I just looked this up. He's a third line defenseman.
Yeah, exactly. So, like I said,
one of your bottom 20 players, the bottom of your 20 players, and you're shitting on him and his race and his heritage because your team lost in 4 games.
Yeah. So
that doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't. It doesn't make any sense. It's ridiculous. Everyone should be upset about it. There's no reason for that in any sport, in any context, anywhere. Period. End of story.
Yeah.
Right?
Agree.
Right.
Agree.
Yeah.
It's over the line. It's a scumbag move, and it shouldn't be tolerated. But I think it just shows. I mean, when you really go into depth about it, this happens more than we like to admit. You know.
You're right.
There's other teams we see it in. We can go back to Kyrie right now, claiming that Boston's super racist. And obviously, I think every city has that area, but there's certain things that are just over the line, and some fans are just batshit crazy and will do whatever it takes when they get mad. They'll do anything, you know. They'll target people online. They'll make threats. They'll racist remarks, and it's sad.
Yeah, it is. It is really sad. But let's move on. Let's go to our de facto last segment of the show. It's gonna be Master Debaters.
I already did that today.
I don't know this. I don't know the noise from masturbators. I forget. Anyways,
we're jerking off and debating. It's Master Debaters.
Nice. There you go. So let's let me set the table for you. So
Can
obviously,
we make this a circle instead of a square?
how about a triangle and you shut the fuck up?
Ooh, a triangle, jerk. Jerk triangle.
Oh, I get
The
what you're
jerking
saying.
triangle.
Yeah.
Whatever gets cummed into the jerk triangle never comes back.
Jerk chicken.
Well, see, here's the thing. There's 3 of us on the outside, and then there's the receiver in the middle. So the middle person just,
And it's
Take it.
Zach.
yeah, it's not me. not me.
Hold on, I have something for that.
James, this is gonna be really uncomfortable for one of them. Oh, Drew!
Oh,
No!
I don't even know what's happening anymore.
You're caught in the
All right.
middle of the cum triangle.
Oh God, let's set the
Word.
table. Let's set the table. Let's
Word.
set the table. Julio Jones. There was discussions, debates about this, and now that the Falcons have been offered a first round pick for him by, again, an unnamed team, is Julio Jones worth a first round pick?
Yes.
Anybody want to start? Okay, Chris, why?
Why?
Yeah.
Because he's the Falcons' top receiver. He used to be the league leading receiver, but clearly the Falcons have dwindled as a whole team over the past few years. But he still has the speed, he still has the talent, and especially with this season, what we saw go, and who we saw get traded for a first rounder, who was out there for a first rounder, second rounder, easily.
So, yeah, I mean, I agree with you, Chris. He is worth the first round pick. I mean, I think just I'm going to base this just off of what the Patriots have, what they've produced from the first round, all that kind of thing. And for me, yes, he's worth the first round pick because the production you've gotten out of any first round picks in the past, I don't know, 10 years has been dog shit. Defensive side of the ball, good. Offensive side of the ball, hell no. Are you kidding me? Terrible. So yeah, Julio is 100%. I will ship out a first round pick. I don't care about his injury history. I don't care about, that he's 32. A first round pick for me, because again, it's the person who's drafting. I don't trust Belichick to draft offensive talent in the first round. It just doesn't work out. So yeah, I think he's worth a first round pick. But like I said earlier, I'm surprised that someone offered them a first round pick.
So I think a great argument before we let someone else talk, because fuck you guys, is first round pick wise. If we were to offer the Jaguars Julio Jones last year before the season even began, do you think they would have gotten rid of their first round pick
No,
for Julio Jones?
no,
Yes.
no.
I think they would have. I 100% think they would
not
have.
this draft, the year before that.
The year before the season started, they would have got rid of their 2021 first round pick.
No.
You
That's
think they
asinine.
would have held on to
In
that?
this
No, they
draft,
wouldn't
and
have.
they're the Jacksonville Jaguars. They knew they had a shot at him. They were not getting
Yeah,
rid of that
no,
pick. Fucking
Exactly. It's about who your team is and who is drafting. Talent alone, Julio is worth a first round pick.
Mhm.
But again, it's all about circumstance. He's 32. He's had injury history, but he's also been extremely consistent on the flip side. Yeah, he's been injured, but like when he's out on the field, he is a dominating force. And he's been consistent. But so it just, again, you can't say that, that the Jaguars would have given up a first round pick again, because like Drew said, Trevor Lawrence is there, and like if you have a chance at Trevor Lawrence, you're not trading that pick away.
So at the beginning of the season, you knew they were going 1-15.
No, but they know that they're the Jacksonville Jaguars, and that there's a chance that they will.
Yeah, but you have the chance to have Julio Jones, who is probably the closest in the league right now to Megatron.
But don't forget,
why would you
though.
take Julio Jones for 3 or 4 years when the most highly touted quarterback draft prospect of the
Ever.
generation is available?
Yeah, so I don't understand that. For them, Julio was not worth that first round pick. It really is about circumstance. But again, yes, I think he's worth a first round pick. Look at the teams that are looking to trade for him. It's the Titans, it's the Patriots, it's the Ravens, teams that need a bona fide number one receiver. And obviously the Titans are borderline because you have AJ Brown there. Corey Davis is left, so you need someone else to fill that spot, but that's a whole different conversation. But the Patriots and the Ravens, I mean, I'm sorry, but as a Patriots fan, like, how could you not want Julio Jones? How could you not want him? A first round pick for Belichick is nothing. Nothing. He doesn't draft the first round very well. I mean, it's obvious, and it doesn't make any sense. You should, if you're a Patriots fan, you want Julio Jones, you should want to give up a first round pick for him.
You're literally
Plain and
proving
simple.
my argument.
I'm not, though, because your argument was the Jaguars. The Jaguars are a different story. I'm saying
Okay,
it's circumstance.
let's use a different team. Who took Jamar Chase? The Bengals? Yes?
Again,
Yeah.
no, I wouldn't
would you
trade that pick. No.
You'd rather have Chase than Jones.
Okay,
Yeah.
but
Wow.
yes, I would rather have
That's-
Chase than
yeah.
Jones because Jamar Chase, again, you're getting the value of all of those years that they have separated. And again, you're also getting that connection because let's not forget, Jamar Chase and Joe Burrow, what college did they go to, Chris? LSU. They
Technically
played
also
together.
Ohio State, but that's a whole nother conversation.
Wait, what?
Don't worry about it. Transfer.
What the
You're good.
fuck? I hate the transfer portal. That shit sucks. But again, you know, you can make the argument that at the beginning of the season, you know, they had drafted Joe Burrow, all that kind of stuff. If he doesn't get hurt and they actually have a decent season, maybe. But why would you buy? Why wouldn't you just wait till the draft? Again, it's all about circumstance.
I Drew.
Disagree.
Sorry.
I'm just waiting for you guys to chime in.
You guys
I
have
disagree.
your chat. Drew and I will sit off to the side. And just
I'm
listen
literally
to-
waiting for you guys to chime in. I'm just trying to fill the space.
I
Drew,
agree with everything you're saying.
Oh, I know.
Okay. So here's the way I look at it. And if you're gonna trade X for a first round pick and it's super situational, you have to be sure that who you're trading for is gonna get you a Super Bowl, right? The Rams trade for Matt Stafford, first round pick. That is almost bona fide enough to get them a Super Bowl, presumptuously, right? You have to be a Julio Jones away from a Super Bowl to be pushing for that first round pick.
That's the slight part where I disagree with your logic there. I don't think that the Rams were an upgrade from Jared Goff to Matthew Stafford away from a Super Bowl.
I guess fair. There's a whole lot more you can put in there, but you get the point I'm trying to make, right? It's like in my mind, if you're going to trade for it, I don't think the Patriots are a wide receiver away from being a Super Bowl contender. I don't think the Titans are a wide receiver away from being a Super Bowl contender. God fucking damn it, the Raiders aren't a fucking wide receiver away from being a Super Bowl contender. Packers probably. 2 wide receivers if they had.
Oh, I
Aaron
mean,
Rodgers,
yeah,
that's
they had.
fucking-
If
Aaron
Aaron
Rodgers
Rodgers
was
and
there.
Julio, are you kidding?
That's not the point.
That's
Dude,
ridiculous.
you
That's not
imagine
even a
Devontae
conversation.
Adams and Julio Jones? It's the same thing with like DeAndre Hopkins and Julio Jones. Those are ridiculous.
I mean, hey, technically speaking, we have DeAndre and AJ Green. If AJ Green was healthy in his prime, that would be fucking ridiculous. But again, he's not. So
we'll see what AJ Green is.
Yeah. He's no Andy Isabella, am I right, James?
Drafted ahead of DK.
Yeah, I know. That's
Ugh.
crazy.
But that's my point. So it's super situational for me.
I agree.
On the whole, I'm gonna say no. That's not taken away from his accomplishments. That's me more looking at like his age, his injuries. That scares me off from putting a first round pick. A second round for sure. But if,
Right, and that's
yeah.
and again, that's why I earlier said that I think I was surprised that someone actually offered a first round pick for him because it didn't seem like the market for him was that hot. You know what I mean? It seemed like there were a couple of teams that had interest in him, but obviously the Falcons were asking too much. And it looks like they're gonna get a first round pick for him, and good for the Falcons. I mean, you gotta get the value for your player, but
Well, and you saw that in the offseason so far with how long it took Galladay to find a landing spot at a deal that he wanted, and the wide receivers weren't getting the money they were asking for, which clearly shows that there's not as high of a demand right now for wide receivers, especially when there's guys like Kenny Galladay out there that it's kind of just a younger, more injury-prone Julio Jones, albeit less athletic.
Honestly,
size and rough comparison. But if he's not getting what he's asking for, I don't think teams are going to be as willing to give up the most valuable thing that's not a player that you can give up.
Yeah, I mean, again, I'm gonna say that, for me, and obviously this is just my perspective as a Patriots fan, like I see first round picks for us as just a complete waste unless he's drafting a defensive player. And that's why I was so big on like getting someone like Micah Parsons or JC Horn or even Patrick Surtain. Like I would have been fine with that because I know he can evaluate that defensive prospect, that defensive talent, and select a good player that's gonna fit. And so for me, it makes sense to trade that first round pick to get a guy like Julio because you have the talent. It's more or less about the conditioning, the injury proneness, and obviously seeing if he's got enough left in the tank to go for it. But you don't have to be a Julio Jones away to still get Julio and justify trading him first, because if you get Julio at Julio without the injuries, is that not worth more than a first round pick to me? Because I would think it is. But again, like James said, it's very situational. It really just depends on who you're asking. It really does. There's no right or wrong answer.
And I mean, either way, you have a question mark. If you keep the draft pick, you have a question mark about who you're going to end up with.
Exactly.
And if you trade it for Julio Jones, you have a question mark of whether or not he's going to be on the field, how long he's going to play. There's all kinds of questions with him.
Yeah. Every trade is a question mark. There are very, very few trades that you can say, yeah, that's a complete win right off the.
But
right
you
off
can
the
say
gate.
the same thing about the draft.
Right off the gate.
Every single draft is a question mark.
Well, but that's what Drew just said. But that's what I'm also saying is that like the picks are a question mark, but so is the player really. Like you're going to get the player, but you don't know what's going to happen with that player. And I'm saying that like there it's very rare where you get a trade where you know that this is going to be a win for that team. You know what I mean? Perfect example. James, Khalil Mack gets traded. Who won that trade right off the bat?
Initially, it was the Bears.
Right. But what happened over the next year and a half?
Raiders drafted awesome offensive pieces.
Exactly. So, again,
I might be wrong, but selling Farrell, maybe?
Yeah,
I think I don't know. I'd have to look back at the actual picks.
But I remember you wrote an article about the Raiders officially winning that trade, right?
Yeah.
Right. So, you get a big name player like Khalil Mack gets traded. The Bears get an instant upgrade. You think, oh, win that trade. What have the Bears done? And, basically what have the Bears gotten out of it? They've gotten, good seasons from Khalil Mack. But the Raiders have gotten a better future outlook from it. So, again, it's really in the hands of the teams that receive the draft picks, receive the players, and what they're going to do. So, again, situational.
And also, to be fair on that point I said before, the Bears also thought they were a Khalil Mack away from being a Super Bowl contender.
And they almost were.
They almost were, but they weren't. Right. So
I still disagree with that. I think Julio is one of those people, if we go back the last 10 years, is the second or third best receiver in the league.
Okay.
And I'm not saying that, I'm saying over the last 10 years average, let's say. He is one of those people that you can base an offense around. I would say him and Hopkins is one of those few wide receivers that you base an offense around. No matter the case, this is my opinion.
I'm with Drew. Tay.
Huh?
What about Tay?
I'd
You
say
don't think-
Hopkins and Jones.
Okay. Continue your point.
Okay.
No love.
I could put a couple more names on there, but continue your point.
Yeah.
Go put your names on.
Mike Evans.
Yep.
Devontae
No,
Adams.
I wouldn't.
Yeah.
What? Mike Evans was the only consistent thing in the
I was
Bucs
gonna say, Mike
offense for
Evans is
years.
the most consistent receiver of the last decade,
Yeah,
without
literally.
question.
No question.
I'm not saying that. I just wouldn't form an offense solely around Mike Evans. I think you need more pieces. I think Julio and Hopkins are one of those two wide receivers, other than Megatron, but that's different, that you could honestly go to any length and still spread that whole entire offense out. He can train every single young wide receiver on that team, and he can still spread the whole entire field.
Saturday.
I think it's worth it in the long run, and that's just my opinion.
I think you perpetually live in 2015, and it's amazing.
Yeah. Well, no, but I what's that? Oh, I know. Sorry.
Good
I
point,
had a signed conversation with Dom. Chris, I get what you're saying. I understand, but what you're also saying is that it doesn't matter the outlook for the team. You're saying that the outlook of the team doesn't matter. If Julio is there, I'm taking him no matter what pick I have. That's what you're saying?
No, and I agree with what you guys said about the Jags, but I think anywhere after 5, it's worth to take Julio. And I stand by that.
So the Bears should have taken Julio at 11. They
traded down to get.
No, they
Fields.
traded up. They traded up to get Fields.
I'm sorry. I'm down is up, east is west. By down, I meant they traded.
Nashville's in the west. Fucking A.
Black is white.
Yeah.
You get what I mean. I get what you're saying. Up, but
right. But again,
that is a fluke because they got Justin Fields.
Right, but think about it like this, if you have the potential to do that in the offseason before the draft, you have your pick, you're solidified with your pick, you trade it knowing that you're at whatever spot they were at. What were they at, like 14 or 13 or something? And they trade up and they get their guy in Justin Fields. And are you a Julio Jones away or are you a quarterback away? And again, the thing for me is it's situational. It's purely situational rather than being a talent-driven decision, if you get what I'm saying.
I get what you're saying, and I think everything in the NFL is situational. But I think I still stand by that Julio is one of those people, I think. And yeah, I'm taking 2015 into it when he was in his prime, but we honestly can't act like the Falcons have been good since 2017. So that brought the whole entire, we're not talking much about Calvin Ridley anymore either.
Why?
Yeah, the whole Falcons as a whole has just dwindled.
We're not talking about Calvin Ridley. Calvin's fucking nasty. What?
Yeah, we talked the shit out of Calvin Ridley.
Yeah.
Calvin Ridley's a stud.
Yeah, Calvin Ridley's
I'm not saying he's not, but the Falcons as a whole has dwindled. Do you disagree?
What does that have to
Not
do with
offensively.
anything?
That has everything to do with it. The whole team has shit the bed since 2017.
But it hasn't
That
been the whole
plays a lot
team. It
into
was-
players' regression. That plays a lot into where you view someone at, and your mental status, and your physical, your everything. That has everything to do with the players. And
But you're saying
that's-
Julio's been getting hurt because the Falcons are bad and not the other way around.
I didn't bring injury into this yet.
You said your physical and mental status.
Yeah, if you're on a losing team, your mental status is definitely going to be more fucked than if you
Said physical.
made it to the Super Bowl 3 years in a
Not
row.
necessarily. I mean, some
What?
people just don't give a fuck. They're just there to make money and have fun. Like,
Well, maybe that's the case. I don't think Julio's one of those players.
Regardless, it has
Oh.
nothing to do with how he's necessarily performed over the last couple of years since 2017, since that Super Bowl loss. You know what Julio Jones is. You know what he brings to the table. He's been in the league long enough. He's an absolute freak.
That's what I'm saying.
It's at that point where you have to start looking at the other things, though. He's older, he gets hurt. It's almost like kind of an AJ Green situation, except Julio's way better.
oh yeah, 100%. 100%.
You
Well-
have to be in a situation where you need a receiver right now
Right.
to go win.
Right.
You're not going to be a team that's in the middle of rebuilding and say, oh, Julio Jones might be available. Oh, let's go trade a bunch of stuff away for him. That's not the route you're going to take.
Honestly, that would be a risk that in the right situation I'd be willing to take.
Yeah, and again, I think, Chris, I'm sure there are GMs that agree with you. I mean, whoever offered them a first round pick agrees with you. But
Oh, who it is? They could need a receiver really bad.
right, exactly. But that's the point. Is that we don't know who it is. We don't know who offered them the first round pick, what their team situation is. But again, I get where Chris is coming from on that point, because the Patriots haven't had that kind of receiver ever, besides Randy Moss. But they traded for him and they did the right thing. But he wasn't in his prime when they did that. It was a resurgence, so it's a completely different scenario. So I just think that we should just finish up the segment. But I mean, I get where everyone's coming from, but I think it's going to be situational.
Well,
What?
I think the original question is, would you trade a first rounder for Julio? And I'm on the same page as you there, Zach. We just have different reasons for it. I would. I think
Right,
we all
you
would. James,
you would trade the first round pick, no question. I would
Not
trade
the
the
first round pick. I take that back when we talked about that. A first rounder, you said. Not a first round
What?
pick.
What? That's the same thing.
That's the same thing.
Oh, you said the first round pick. The first
no,
overall pick. is
Their
what I'm
the
talking
first
about.
round, their first round.
No,
pick,
he
whatever.
said the first round, not the first
Yeah.
overall.
Yeah, not first overall.
What?
I mean, I don't think I would trade the first overall pick for, honestly, anyone. I mean, I'm sure there are select players that you would trade the first overall pick for.
When you
It's
have the first
situational.
It would have to
you
be
have
something
the
like-
first overall pick, you're not in a situation to trade for one person
Well,
necessarily.
Necessarily,
Unless,
necessarily.
First overall pick.
unless you have
That's
the
a good
first
point,
overall
Drew.
pick and you're trading for like Patrick Mahomes somehow,
but that's what I'm saying. There's
a
not
good
there's
young superstar.
there's not any one player that you can say, okay, I'm going to trade the first overall pick for, because again, unless it's Patrick Mahomes, like you said, because
Jameis Winston.
man, that's crazy that they had the first overall pick 5 years ago, and then they ended up just moving on from him, getting Tom Brady and winning a fucking Super Bowl. What the fuck is the NFL, dude? Isn't that weird? Isn't that
It
weird to
do
think
be
about?
like that.
It do be
It
like
do
that,
be
right?
like that.
Well,
But
my
anyways.
favorite stat from that is he went from stealing crab legs to throwing the most touchdowns and the most interceptions in the NFL. Amazing stat.
Well,
I don't know
Most
about that.
touchdowns and most interceptions at the same time.
Yeah, probably 30 for 30 special. The Jameis Winston story. Well, that's all I got from Ask Debaters. We're gonna put it up there for you. So
Yeah,
debate away.
it
It was a good one. It was a good one. It was a hot debate.
That was a good one.
For sure.
Hot debate. Because I mean, there's no right or wrong answer. I mean, it's solely based on what you think. So, but I do have a couple of news things for you. Hey, Red Sox fans, Jackie Bradley Jr. just hit a walk-off single. So fuck you.
Walk-off single. Wow.
I just saw it on my screen. I don't know why I wanted to interject that.
Hey,
Also, we have a huge thing, obviously, for softball. If anybody watches softball out there, yeah, I know I was going to draw crickets, but the first ever softball game is going to be airing on ABC, so on a national stage, Oklahoma and Washington, I believe. I had to plug that for Dom. But yeah, they're going to be on ABC on Saturday. So if you watch softball, check it out. If you don't check it out.
If you watch softball, I'm sure you knew about that.
Yeah, probably.
Watch softball. Don't.
Bruins will also be on Saturday.
Yeah, more importantly, the Bruins will be on at 8:00 on Saturday at TD Garden with, I believe, like a 95% crowd capacity. So get ready for Boner Central.
I don't think it starts till Monday, right?
Graham living his erection.
No, it's the 29th, Chris. No,
Oh, shit.
when I
no
see-
one's gonna have a mask.
if I see
on.
if I see a
God.
packed TD Garden in a second round playoff game, I'm gonna be fully erect for the next week and a half.
Show it on live air, you won't. No stick.
Yeah, I'm not gonna show my dick on live, Chris. That's
Why?
just why
You
not?
said it.
Yeah.
You said it.
No, I didn't.
Yes, you did. I'm not showing. No one said I was showing anything. I'm just saying if I see a fully packed TD Garden, I'm gonna be a full mast. Like this
Just
just
show it
happened.
on live. You won't. No stick.
I won't. No, Chris. Fucking A, I hate all of you.
Very long show.
Yeah, it was very long. Well, that's it for all of us here at BOTA. That has been the BOTA Show. Thank you so much for tuning in. You know where to find us: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube. Please check out our YouTube videos and subscribe, like,
Wait.
do all the shit. Chris, what?
I just need to quickly chime in that James rage quits MLB when he loses by one run in the fourth inning.
Check out our Twitch, guys. Watch James rage quit like a little
Oh
bitch.
shit! Isn't MLB fucking crossplay?
Oh yeah, dude, we're getting into it.
Is it?
Oh, it's a really?
I just got it today.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Fuck
It's
yeah.
free on Game Pass. I downloaded it too.
No one comes.
Yeah, can we not talk about the
I know.
Game Pass version, please? I spent $60 on the fucking
Yeah,
game.
Chris bought it.
Came out of Game Pass the next day.
I even
No,
got it on
no,
sale.
it was
No,
on
it was
Game
out
Pass.
on Game Pass today.
I went
It was
on
out
Game
on
Pass
Game
and it said it
Pass?
wasn't there.
Oh, you're a slut.
$60.
All right,
God damn it.
End this.
Let's wrap it up. All right, guys.
Hey,
Thank you
Yabba.
so much for tuning in.
Beautiful.
You know where to again. You know where to find us. Stay soggy, all that good shit. Hey!